Welcome back. It's been another week and today's going to be a little different because I'm going to be eating a load of shit today whilst we have a bit of a junk food confessional. I got my McDonald's, got 20 nuggets, and we're going to have a proper conversation. So good. Chicken nuggets from McDonald's are still the only fast food I'm properly addicted to, other than pizza, but girl, who isn't addicted to pizza? Also, you can probably see my cat hanging out here. He really thinks he's gonna get a nugget, and normally he'll climb onto me to steal one from me, but not happening today. First of all, I guess I should explain that there was no vlog last week because I had a bit of an off week, really. Not last week, but the weekend before. I actually did manage to upload one, and I'd kind of filmed it preemptively, and I wanted to get it out and not have to deal with what had happened. But essentially, the Friday that weekend, things got really bad for me. I basically, on that Friday night, I don't know why, but I just couldn't deal with stuff, and a lot of stuff, trauma was going around in my head. I guess it's technically PTSD sort of issues were affecting me, and ultimately I'd reached a point where I just couldn't cope anymore. Something else happened that I can't really go into, but it sort of, even though it was a minor thing that I already knew was there, became sort of the icing on the shitstorm cake that was already baking, and it ultimately just caused me to completely collapse. That Friday night I did not sleep at all. I did some damage to myself, so to speak. Sorry, cutting that out because I don't want to say what it was relating to. I've said it in previous videos, so I don't want to keep bringing it up, but related to previous trauma, and it just sort of, I don't know, reared its head again. So I had a bit of a breakdown. I didn't sleep at all. I went to work. I was not particularly happy at work. And then luckily my best friend let me go over on Saturday night and we watched a film, and I basically sat there the entire night crying. But he's my best friend for a reason. He's absolutely an insanely generous, kind, loving person, and literally I just went, I need a hug, and just sat there crying, and it was good because I just felt so alone. So I'm really grateful for that, and I've told them so many times I'm grateful that they are probably sick to death of it, but alas, here I am again telling the world that I'm very much grateful for the fact that I am lucky enough to have a friend like that. Yet again, I don't put my phone on silent. Well done me. Also, sweet curry sauce is amazing. I wish we had honey and mustard one. Whenever I go abroad, like Malta, we seem to have the honey and mustard one, but we don't have that here, just sweet curry and sweet and sour, which I love. So one of the other things that kind of stopped me doing the vlog that week was I was not in a great place, and that sort of got exaggerated or exacerbated on, I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday, but basically I was speaking to my friend. I was like, yeah, I need to get help. I need to really get the counselling in place. So I rang the place which was meant to give me counselling. And how they work is apparently they give you 3 calls to try and let you know, and they send a letter. I didn't know I had the calls because they're from a withheld number. So in this day and age, I don't know, people know living in other places, but in the UK at least you get lots of fake insurance calls, lots of fake bank calls, and they all come from withheld numbers, so I just don't answer them. And if they leave a message, then I ring them back. And when I went to this place originally, I said, look, leave me a message, I'll always get back to you. They did also apparently send a letter. I never got the letter. I'm assuming it probably got lost in the post or something, but I never got it. And it basically meant that I just didn't know I apparently had an appointment. So I rang them, and they basically said because I hadn't responded to the letter or the phone calls, I was no longer on the waiting list, and so I had to go back to the bottom. I basically said, look, I was at the top of the waiting list. I really need this because it's really affecting me. And luckily I've now started that, and I went for my appointment on the Tuesday just gone, so for actual this week rather than the week before where I didn't do a vlog. So I addressed it in my start of year video that I was having really bad, I wasn't able to build relationships with men, whether that was sexual or like a partner relationship, or whether it was just friends. I just couldn't deal with it at all, and I realised that now. And it's like there's two parts of me. So there's like the trans side of me, which is like, I love who I am, I love my body, part of it, you know, I'm getting surgeries on to fix, but I like who I am. And there's the part of me that went through trauma, that doesn't think I'm good enough for anyone, doesn't think that any man will want me unless I put out, so to speak. So it's like two massively conflicting parts of me, because on the one side of me, the trans side is like, you should date, you should try and find someone, you'll be happy. And the other side of me is like, actually, no, you need to take some time and work on yourself and learn to love yourself. But I already do from one aspect. Oh, hi Kat. Hey, how you going? Hey. But yeah, it means I make really poor decisions in terms of who I like date, who I get with, the excuses I make for men, because I feel like it must be my fault, it can't be their fault, or it can't just be the way things are, it has to be something wrong with me. And it's been very confusing, and I've sort of admitted that this week. I think that kind of comes under the whole thing that the counsellor said to me in the first session, is be kind to yourself. Recognise what you want, what you need to do for yourself, and be kind to yourself. It doesn't mean go and buy a Switch, for example, or go and buy a new dress or underwear, although that always makes me feel good, or makeup. But it means if you get asked to go out with a load of friends and you actually don't really want to go, it's not selfish to say no, it's being kind to yourself. And I'm starting to recognise this in myself, and the behaviours that I do, they were very unhealthy, because I constantly felt like I didn't matter enough to put myself first, so I was constantly putting other people first. Okay, so I actually just cut a little bit out because I didn't really want to share some of that information. But basically, I recognise that a lot of my unhealthy relationships with men have been because I'm not kind to myself and put myself first. I tend to put their needs and wants above me, so I'm sure you can see where that's going. But that's what I tend to do now. Ever since sort of that trauma happened to me, that's what I've done. And I'm recognising that now, slowly, but I'm recognising it. So things are getting better. I'm feeling better about myself. It's going to be a long journey, and this counselling, I've got 14 more sessions before it sort of ends, and I feel like I'm really going to push myself to make sure I get the most out of it. I really want to get to the end of it, and yeah, I won't be fixed, yeah, I won't be 100% better with men, but I'll be at a position where I don't feel like crap all the time, and I'll be able to tell myself that I am worth it, I'm not below anyone. Yeah, I guess that's sort of the update for this week. I also had like a review at work and things are all going well, so I feel good about that. I've got my surgical review in just over 2 weeks. My best friend's going with me for that. Don't know how I'm gonna vlog that because they won't want to be in it, so I'm just gonna have to like awkwardly sit next to them and do it, I guess. I don't know, I'll do it somehow, probably. Kind of getting more and more scary as I get closer to it. And the way I described it to my friend earlier was it's like queuing for a roller coaster. And I mean, I love roller coasters, I'm not scared of them at all, but I remember the first time I ever queued for one, which was Colossus at Thorpe Park, by the way, which is still one of my favourite roller coasters. And I remember queuing for it and I was terrified because I'd never been on a roller coaster with a loop on it before. I've been on like smaller roller coasters, not one with a loop, or in any inversion actually. And I was like really scared, and like I wasn't showing it, but it was like an apprehension because I knew it was going to be amazing in the end. But in my head it was like, well, what if it goes wrong? What if the harness fails? What if I get stuck? Could I die? You know, all those over the top things. And I think that's the same for surgery for me. Part of it is the fear of the actual surgery itself, although I've been explaining the risks and they're extremely low. But part of it is also just sort of the fear afterwards, I guess, because I've got to relearn how to do things, sort of aftercare involved. And also, I guess, the relationship side of things afterwards, like how is that going to work? So I'm a bit nervous about that, and I think I'm getting more scared of that. But I had an experience, should we say, last night that made me realise how much I do want that surgery and how much it's going to be so much better for me afterwards. Like, it's going to be so much better. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't really have any other updates really this week. It's been a bit of a lull after quite a traumatic week for me. I had a lot of reflection. I actually had to stop talking to about 4 people over the weekend just gone when I didn't do a vlog because I needed to process stuff. And it's when I went on the date on the Sunday night that I actually kind of came to I reified a lot of how I felt, or how I wanted to feel, I guess. So it's been an experience. It's been a hard week, but I'm getting there. And I think the thing that topped off today for me in terms of positivity is that I feel like I am getting there with myself in terms of being okay with men, but it's going to be a long journey, and I'm accepting that, and I'm accepting that I need to be kind to myself and give myself that time. The second thing is that I feel like I am actually attractive. I've had 2 dates where the guys have both thought I'm really, really attractive, and although one of them was kind of unsure about the whole trans thing, which to an extent I understand is mainly due to their family, it made me feel really good because I don't wear anything fake anymore, like I discussed before, and I was wearing like a Pikachu dress because I'm accepting the nerdy side of me, whereas before I felt like I had to be sort of normal because trans is already such a big thing and didn't want any more labels, but I've accepted that and they did, so that made me feel really good as well, and made me accept that actually I'm not disgusting for being trans, whatever. And then I guess the third thing is my housemate found a dress that I had, I think I bought it about 3 years ago from a supermarket chain, Tesco's, and it's the dress that I bought my first bra in. And I remember because I took pictures of myself wearing my bra for the first time with support to fill them, and they found that dress, and I've been looking for that dress for ages, and apparently it had been put in like some Tesco bag and I just never found it again. So I've got that again, which has made me sort of realise how far I've come in sort of the last 3-4 years. So although at the start of this started with a really negative experience over the last 2 weeks, and it has been a hard 2 weeks, things are getting more positive and it's going to keep getting better, because as I said, 2019 is going to be my year. Either way, that is me done for this week. I am glad that this week is over. I'm glad that the last 2 weeks are over. And I guess I'll see you again next week. Hopefully I'll actually remember to do it. I'm actually meant to be on a date next Sunday though, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, see you later.